Welcome, fellow freaks, geeks, and nostalgic peeps, to my channel, Slime and Slashers, where, yeah, we talk about everything from Nickelodeon slime to horror movie slashers, but plenty of stuff in between, including books. Today's video is one of your videos of all time. It is a good old-fashioned book haul, so stay in your seats, grab a snack, and I'll be right back after the short intro to go through with you the books. Welcome back, guys. I have a mix of vintage horror books, aka Paperbacks from Hell, and I also have some new horror books, bitch, that I'm really excited about, so I can't wait to show you them all. But first, I do want to say that if you didn't know, I launched a Patreon channel recently. I know that not everyone can support someone's Patreon, which is perfectly okay. Not everyone wants to. They don't like the bonuses. They just don't like the platform. That is okay, too. You guys just watching me means a lot, but if you're looking for another way to support my channel that goes like the extra mile and really helps, you know, craft my content even more, then you can check out my Patreon. And I actually have a Patreon exclusive book haul that I released, which is a lot more books than I'm hauling today, and a lot of it is old school vintage horror, specifically zebra books. And I do, in the latest one, use my little edited spooky voice during the video, so it's not like it's just cuts or whatever. Alright, well, let's get into the books. First, we're gonna do the vintagey books. First up, Nightwing by Martin Cruz Smith. The funny thing is that I just got a book. It was like 100 books, 100 best horror books, and this was listed in the back as one of the books recommended in the back of the book. It's like more recommendations at the back. It's not like part of the official 100, but in the back, this is one. And actually, this is a book that my friend Andrew from It Came From the Page recommended to me, and I'm definitely going to be reading this year. So, I'm excited to dig in.
Vampire bats, great, evil, clever, deadly, driven by blood hunger across American landscape. They breed and multiply, unseen and unsuspected.
Next up, a book I got, because I definitely want to read this one. It's kind of rare. It's called The Feeding by Lee Clark. I did go on a little eBay buying spree recently, which I hardly ever do, with vintage horror because it's way cheaper to go to a used bookstore, but I haven't been in ages and I've been missing buying books. So I went on eBay and I succumbed to the temptation to buy on there. Luckily, nothing was too bad in terms of pricing, but still not used bookstore prices, so it is what it is. This was published in 1988. It is a leisure book, and look at this fantastic embossed cover. These kids in front of a cave. Very awesome. My friend, again, Andrew from It Came From the Page, him and I are talking about doing like a Shark Week where we read and watch shark stuff. So I bought Jaws of the Revenge, and I heard that the book is even more wild than the movie. The movie's pretty bad, but I personally love it. But anyway, there is apparently a voodoo kind of subplot in this book, and I'm intrigued. Voodoo's big here in New Orleans, I guess. I mean, it's a thing that's rumored to be big here, and so I think it'd be fun to read a book with a little voodoo subplot going down. Here is another vintage book that I'm excited to own. This is Death's Song by Douglas Borton. I hear that this is kind of crazy and fun.
Billie Lee Kidd was the new queen of country music, but the little gal from New Mexico had picked the wrong song to sing because all around her people were dying hideously, destroyed by voices that sang fiendish tunes of dark, dreaded terror. A chorus of doom was ushering in the reign of evil on Earth. And unless Billie Lee could find a way to drown out the demonic sound, the minions of darkness would tighten their stranglehold, plunging the world into a maelstrom of violence and hell. But Billie kept singing, knowing full well that nothing in this world or beyond could save her and all humanity if she hit one wrong note. Oh!
Next up, we've got some vintage middle grade. We've got Tombstones, Dances with Werewolves by John Peel. Got this off of Pango Books for a great deal. Next up, October Moon by Michael Scott. You could see my hands blocking it, but Michael Scott, no, not the paper salesman from Dunder Mifflin. Michael Scott flipping the author, and I think this is fantastic. Look at this cover. The wolf's like, oh! And by the way, this would be perfect for March because it takes place in the Irish countryside.
Rachel Stone thought spending her vacation in the Irish countryside would be wonderful, especially since she and her family would be spending the time in a 400-year-old farmhouse. There'd be lots to do, lots to see. But that was before Rachel knew that the house, the land, and its inhabitants were cursed, an age-old curse that can only be passed on to another on the night of the October moon, a curse that turns its victim into werewolf.
And finally, the Coffin, which is a Nightmare Hall book. And, of course, Nightmare Hall is a series by Diane Ho, old school. And, yeah, I'm excited to add another book to my Nightmare Hall collection, which is not very big, by the way. Alright, so now let's go to the newer books. First up, a book that I'm anticipating hopefully reading in March for an Irish reading vlog I'm going to be doing for St. Paddy's Day. I love St. Patrick's Day, love Irish culture. I am not Irish, but I kind of wish I was. Anyway, this is Irish Gothic, Tales of Celtic Horror, and this is by Ronald Kelly, and look at this fantastic cover. We've got like this Irish bride. She looks like demonic on one side, and then still kind of eerie on the other, so really, really cool. And by the way, the back has like a shamrock with freaking skulls in it. Hell yeah, I'm excited. And I already read the author introduction, and he talked about how Ronald Kelly started to get interested in his heritage, which is like distantly Irish, when he had to do a project in school when he was young about the origin of his last name, Kelly. And actually, it used to be spelled Kelly with an EY, but I think his dad, the army, when he signed up for the army, they dropped the E on the Kelly, and Ronald Kelly's dad thought it was like a legal name change, even though it wasn't. So he kept the name Kelly without the E, even though it's supposed to have the E. But yeah, the army just effed it up and messed up their own name, and like the dad was just like, yo, I guess it's my new name now. Whatever. I think that's kind of an interesting story, and I know that happened to a lot of people, especially people who were newly immigrated way, way, way back in the day. Their last names got changed all the time. Another book acquired for a possible Irish reading vlog, The God Provides. This is one of my 23 books to read in 2022. This is by Thomas R. Clarke, and it says,
"The foothills of upstate New York are alive with something terrifying. It hunts, it tempts, it traps, and there's no escape. Thomas R. Clarke reinvents Irish mythology and takes you on a bloody, emotional, and horrific journey back through time with the tale of intrigue, family, and devastating secrets they hold. The author of Bella's Boys, a tale of cosmic horror, has crafted a story that's part The Wicker Man and part Cycle of the Werewolf, but at the same time, like nothing you've read before."
I'm really, really excited to dig into this. Next up, we've got Festival, and I went and bought this after I saw a recent haul from Coral over at Pretty in Paper Cuts. I think I forgot to comment, but I loved her haul. I actually bought a couple of books from that haul, but I'm really, really excited about this one especially. This is just a small little hardcover book called Festival, and it's co-authored by Christopher Golden and Tim LeBon, and the premise says,
"The Valhalla Music Festival commemorates a long ago Viking slaughter, but when strange things start to happen, it seems the massacre may be far from over. When festival goers begin to disappear, and musicians find themselves playing mysterious and ancient songs as if possessed, the fans have to figure out what's going on before the festival site's haunting past comes back for blood."
And this is also illustrated, and it's illustrated by Peter Berkting. I'll try to show you guys a picture. Let me see. Find something. So yeah, you can see there's illustrations. That must be the festival. That's one of the stages there. And I'm sure this is before the horror breaks out, so pretty cool. I like the cover a lot. You could see the skull, this guy with a guitar. He's like, yo! Anyway, I'm very pumped to read this. Oops, it looks like I forgot an old school book here and I put it in with the new books. I didn't mean to do that. This is The Secret Books of Paradise, Book 1 and Book 2 by Tanith Lee. And actually someone commented on one of my videos about this, and I was like, well, I might as well try to find it. So I looked it up, and this was on Thrift Books for a very reasonable price, and I am excited that it's a hardcover. This was published originally in 1988, And let's see. It says,
Strange and tormented dwell in Paradise, prowling its dark streets and twisted alleyways, passing the endless hours in the city's elegant mansions and smoke-tarnished inns, wandering in moldering graveyards and the stark surrounding countryside. For the land here is bound by a timeless soul-chilling magic, and that power has cast its spell over all who have ever lived in this foreboding and dangerous place. Come to Paradise and witness the city's life and history through the eyes of its provocative and perverse citizens, a darkly fascinating odyssey as only World Fantasy Award winner Tanith Lee could imagine it. Journey back to an era of opulent saloons and hopeless duels without honor, a time when it was fashionable among the idle rich to dabble in the occult. But in the case of one troubled man, such dabblings awaken an obsessive love for a mistress of seductive terror, a being who may well prove capable of draining his talent, his lifeblood, his very essence away.
hell yeah, this sounds really interesting and intriguing. I am so glad I went ahead and bought this. Thank you whoever commented this, because I forgot who it was, but always up for book suggestions. If you have any more, please leave them below. I will hunt the books down and try to read them. And last but not least, Night Film. This sounds so intriguing. I first heard about this on Haley Hughes' channel when she was talking about, I can't remember what video, if it was like a favorite thriller or just like a favorite story of hers from a certain year. But anyway, she did mention this on her channel, and right away I was like, this plot, the way she described it, sounded really, really interesting and really, really good. It made me want to buy it immediately. And it says,
The mysterious Ashley, gifted daughter of the reclusive film director Stanislas Cordova, is found dead in an abandoned warehouse in Lower Manhattan. Her death is ruled a suicide, but veteran investigative journalist Scott McGrath suspects otherwise. What happened to Ashley? As McGrath tries to uncover the truth, he is drawn into a spellbinding quest in the underworld of the Cordova family's life. With breakneck pace and dazzling inventiveness, Night Film will hold you in suspense until you turn the final page.
so that's very exciting that it has to do with, like, you know, the film industry, and it looks like it's told, you know, in like a mixed media type of format, which I think is awesome. I'm really eager to get to this. So thank you, Haley, for putting this on my radar, because I might not have heard of it otherwise. And that is the last book I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hopefully will be back with another book haul very soon. I know it's been a while since I did one on my channel. In fact, I just did a Mark Morris one, but that felt like more of an author spotlight to me versus just a random fun, you know, book haul for just no reason. My ulterior motive for the Mark Morris haul was to put Mark Morris's work in front of more people's eyes and be like, buy his work, check out his writing because he's badass. This, I don't know if any of these writers are badass per se, but these books, they make me want to read them just by their covers or by their synopses or whatever. So it is what it is, but I hope you guys enjoyed me going through a few of these books quickly. Alright guys, for this time, that is it for me. Till next time guys, you know what you can do. Keep on killing it. Bye guys.